Hi guys, it's Boxing Day today. Hope you all had a good Christmas. I've got a couple of packs of bulbs I want to get in the ground today because it says December is the last month that we can put them in, so I need to get that done. Also, I noticed some of them were sprouting. I've got some, these are from a local family run garden centre, not like a Blue Diamond or anything. Really good price. So I've got 3 alliums. They are absolutely huge. What size of that? I can't remember how much that one was. This one was £5.70 for 8 hyacinth, which is amazing. Usually, I've looked at hyacinth before, and usually they're about £1 per bulb. So it's really good value. Lots of different colours there. That'll be probably a purple or a pink. Got some white ones. I don't know if you can see that through the bag. But as you can see, they're all sprouting. I'm going to get them in. I'm also doing our garlic. I won't show you that because it's got my address on. Trying these from an Amazon seller this year. Again, sprouting. So I'm going to put them in the ground. They smell incredible. And lastly, start our onions. I've not done them from seed successfully before, but apparently Boxing Day is the best time to start them, or a traditional day of starting them, so we're going to do that. So I've got 3 lots of planting I want to get done first. Right, I'm going to do these first. I'm going to keep them all together so it's a nice clump of those colours together. I think they contrast really nicely. It'll be a nice display on the way into the greenhouse. And we've got 3. Those colours work well together. I think I might put them all together. That'd be nice. Absolutely huge. I've just seen these have got some mould on them, but I think it's just where they've been sitting in the greenhouse. It seems to only be on the outside. This one's got a baby coming, I think. And this one also has a baby. It's on its flappy skin. I'm going to try and keep them attached. I've not grown the giant ones before. Oh, it's got another. Oh no, that is the same baby. So they'll be lovely. I love alliums. Let's see how they go. Really deep for them. I don't know if that's too deep. I think they need a good depth because of how tall they grow. I think I bought these by the weight, so I have to see how many it works out as. All sprouting for these. They're all ready to grow. So you want the tip of the bulb there, an inch below the surface of the soil, which means that shoot will be very slightly poking out, but at least then we can see where we've planted them. They don't need much important thing is that you put them in this flat plate. It's the growing plate. That's not a very good example. This one. It's got a flat side. That's where the roots will grow from. And that's obviously the growing tip. You can see the sprout. Did I put them in there? Okay. Try not to go too deeply now after doing those bulbs. I'm used to doing things deeply. And then in a couple of weeks we should be seeing them, these sprouts, pop out above the soil, and it can show me how wonkily I planted them. Not to cover them up until I'm done, just so I remember where I've put them. See that carrot? Oh, I've forgotten where I was now. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then there's a few left. Hasn't taken up much of the bed at all, which is good. I've seen people do them with weed membrane around them, but I'll just keep these weeded. Competition. What's that? So I hope you're able to see that. We have just planted 8 hyacinths, purple and yellow, 3 alliums. I love them so much. Every year I remember how much I love them and I want to buy them, and then I never do. And I saw them and I thought, now is the year. Oh wow, my hair. Thought now is the year that we do it. We also planted the garlics. Right, next I'm going to sow my onions. I've got Bedfordshire Champion because they came recommended, and I've got Red Baron. Apparently these will need heat, so I'm going to sow them out here in trays with the water trays, keep them moist, and then bring them inside so they've got the heat to germinate. Sow indoors from January. So let's do that. It does say to sow them where they are to crop, but I've been watching Charles Dowding this morning and he sowed them into small plugs like this, transplanted them out once they were bigger into his bed, and then thinned them out as they were sort of your finger thickness. Used those ones as spring onions, and then left a clump of 4 or 5 onions per plug still growing together, and they made perfect normal onion bulb sized. So if you sow them outside, they need to be 1.5 centimetres deep, which is half an inch. If you sow them inside and you want bigger bulbs, they only need to be half a centi deep or 1/4 of an inch. 15 to 20 degrees. So I'll keep them in the dining area, keep an eye on them, and then plant them out once it starts warming up a bit. I'm going to put a few of them per module exactly as Charles did, because he knows what he's talking about. 1/2 centimetre deep. So if I'm going to do 4 or 5 per cell, I think. Pat them down. And then we can cover them with some more compost. I'm going to do 2 trays of the white ones, 2 trays of the red. And if you do find that you've sown them too thickly, you can either move them to another module, because they are quite a chunky seed, or you can let them grow on and pick them and eat them. Eat the ones that you've thinned out. I'll try and show you how big they are. This big one, not that, that's mud. So those are white. I'll do another tray of white. And then we'll gently push them down to 1/2 centimetre deep and give them a covering. Some of these I'm going more thickly with, but we can always have some spring onions in something. We've been trying a lot of Asian cooking recently, so they will work perfectly in our noodle dishes and things. Salads. Right, that's 2 trays of Bedfordshire Champion. I'm going to label that before I forget. The usual story with the labels. Trying to use them until there is no space left, and also when I remember to pick up a new pack. I don't know if anyone else is the same. I've got a constant shopping list in my head when I'm in the greenhouse, and as soon as I leave the greenhouse it's like it doesn't exist. Just completely forget what I need to order. So that was Bedfordshire Champion. So now we'll do the red ones. Where did I put them? Oh. Red Baron. This says sow indoors from Feb. However, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to do them with the other ones. If it's good enough for one, I'm sure it'll be good enough for another one. But like I say, I've not done them before. This is all a learning curve, trial and error, which is mostly what gardening is anyway, to be honest, because what works for someone doesn't work for someone else, because they can be in a different part of the country, have different light, different aspect. These are loose in the pack. I'm going to tap out again a few into each cell. They're around the same size as the other ones, maybe a tiny bit smaller. Spring red onions sound nice, don't they? I like red onion. I love red onion cooked. I've not had it as a spring version, the baby. That's one tray. (10 to 16 degrees Celsius to start germinating, so we'll keep them inside on a windowsill. Keep an eye on them. I'm just going to spread these out a bit. Right, so they're about 1/2 centimetre deep. Did I do these? No. Just gently push them in, whilst also spreading them slightly so they're not in direct competition with each other. Sprinkle, sprinkles. Does anyone have any onion growing tips? Particularly sowing them on Boxing Day in the UK. We are in the southeast, but I'd love to hear any tips and tricks, please. As I say, it's my first time. But it's one of those vegetables. Every recipe you cook starts with onions. So we have planted the giant alliums, planted the bargain hyacinths, planted the garlic, and now sown red and white onions. So that's 5 good jobs for today. And now I'm going to go in and have a cup of tea. Enjoy the Christmas period, whatever you're up to. Sending love to anybody that finds this time of year hard. I hope you're all doing what makes you happy, eating lots of cheese, spending time with loved ones, and taking stock before we go again next year. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.